Cruising is back in Baltimore. The cruise lines are tightening up the time period that you need to take your test before you embark onto the cruise. And Carnival hasn't officially announced that some of its U.S. ports it is delaying until 2022. I'm Charlene of IslandJumper.travel, and this is Tuesday Tea Talks, where I spill the tea about what's going on with cruising and in the Caribbean. So there's been a push coming from the CDC to tighten up the number of days from when you take your test to when you get on the cruise ship. And they've made that 2 days. So the way they're doing it is, say if your sail date is Saturday, you back it up 2 days. So then you would need to get your test on Thursday. And it's not like by the hour, it's just by the day. So you would need to have a 2-day or less window to get your COVID test taken. So the good news is that Will Caribbean has joined forces with eMed and Optum Health to sell the kind of tests that you can take at home with a proctor via like some kind of your telephone or some kind of video, like on your laptop or something. Go to the website, get the details, but they've at least made it a little bit easier. Now you want to make sure that you give yourself time to order the tests because they are getting shipped FedEx. But don't order them too early because there is an expiration date. So you don't want to get too many of them. You don't want to get an inventory or whatever because they really don't have a long time period before they expire. This is all new technology and stuff. So the Carnival cruise line, so Carnival Princess in Holland, what they're doing is they've joined forces with Quest. And there are a lot of Quests, and there are even some Quest labs in Walmart. So they've joined forces with them so that you can take a proctor test and get your results really quickly. So all the different lines are just very particular about what kind of tests and what are the rules for, how it gets taken. So be sure, if you're like a month out from sailing, be sure to look that list over really carefully and then continually keep an eye on it, until a week out, and then figure out exactly what you need to do. You probably need to have ordered your tests once you're like maybe 2 weeks out or so, and then figure out the rules for how you're going to do your proctor test. Do you have a camera phone? I guess if you don't have that kind of phone, then that could be a problem. Find somebody who's got that kind of phone and or some kind of camera like on their laptop, and follow the rules. And you don't want to open your test before the person is watching you do that, because that will invalidate your test. So just follow the rules exactly as they are prescribed and you'll be fine. But like I say, it's really about the only way we're able to get that tight timeline, because a lot of us head out the day before, right? And sometimes even 2 days before. So this kind of tightens up that window when you might be able to do that. But because you can do it telehealth in some cases, or Quest that has a lot of different locations, kind of like helping make it a little bit more reasonable to get that test 2 days out before your sail day. So the allowable vaccines, I guess, has tightened up a little bit too. So it doesn't really apply to American vaccines, but like in Canada and some of the other countries, they were mixing vaccines, and that's starting to not be allowed on the ships that are leaving out of U.S. ports. Now, if you're leaving out of like a European or some other port, there could be a different set of rules. So again, be careful to check that and make sure that you've met the criteria and that you have the identification or the records that they're requiring you to have in order to get on the ship. Because there's all kinds of stuff. People will get to the port, and there was some story about there was a family of 4. The one lady actually had COVID. She had no symptoms whatsoever. They had all had their shots, but of course they couldn't sail because there was a COVID positive. So, a lot of people are doing like a home test before they even leave. That's not even included in what the cruise line wants, just so that they know they're good to go, because that would really be horrible to get like really far away and to find out that you couldn't go on your cruise. So due to the complicated protocols, Carnival has decided to suspend the following ships until 2022. So it is the Liberty out of Port Canaveral, Sunshine out of Charleston, Paradise out of Tampa, the Ecstasy out of Jacksonville, and the Sensation out of Mobile. So those won't be starting up until January of 2022, and that's yucky news, I know, for a lot of people. And I'm getting pretty nervous because I'm on the Sunshine right after the first year, so fingers crossed that they'll get things going. They are really trying to get things online. I think it's probably just easier to go to the bigger ports, although I don't really know about the Port Canaveral because that's kind of like a big one. But, you know, things are kind of ramping back up. Now, a lot of the Carnival ships they're booking at about 70% capacity, where a lot of the other cruise lines are booking much smaller numbers. So it could be a drastic difference between cruise lines of how much they're allowing on the ship for their cruises. And I think they're all trying to ramp up as we get toward the end of the year, but incremental. So Virgin Voyages has made it to Manhattan after it did its UK sail around staycations, and it will be starting to sail out of Miami we'll start sailing in Miami in October 6th. So pretty excited about that. And I have been following the Cruising as Crew, who is a person that works on the Virgin Voyages, and it really seems like they have moved the paradigm about how these cruise lines treat their employees, the benefits that they get. So I'm feeling pretty good about, I know that the expense is a little bit more than some of the other cruise lines, but I really like what they're doing and the things that they're saying that they give their employees. So good job, Virgin, for really treating your team good, because that means they're going to treat me good, and that's great, right? That's a win-win. So if you are looking to get a good bargain on a cruise, you're going to need to sell like 2021. There are so many people that are pushing out their cruises because of the protocols, because mostly everybody's having to take a test a couple days out. They're having to wear masks in public places, and they're just, you know, the spikes that are going on around the different states. So a lot of people are just pushing off their cruise, so that, you know, the 2022 and 2023 cruises are getting pretty expensive, and normally when you book further out you get better deals, but in this case it's kind of going the opposite. The further out is booking up faster than the stuff closed up. So if you're looking for a good price and you're willing to endure the protocols, and you are not concerned about are concerned enough to not go for the various spikes that are happening, then right now they're really good prices on quite a number of ships sailing, but only like this year. And if you've got future cruise credit, get something on the books right away, even if it's out into 2020 22 or 23, you want to get something on the books because the stuff is filling up. Like if you want on the NCL Prima, that is like getting really hard to get on with the way they're kind of like making it do its little showcase all over the place. So you definitely, if you've got cruise credit, you want to kind of get something booked at a time when you think you might feel comfortable going, because otherwise, you know, you might be ended up paying extra if you wait too far out and prices go up. Then you'll pay the difference, you know, from your future cruise credit. So get that taken care of. So until next time, this is Charlene saying, live your truth and live well.